Hey guys, it's Sharon. This video is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I've never done this on my channel, and I'm very excited. My fellas, if you're watching this, feel free to keep watching this. Maybe you have a girlfriend, some older sisters, some younger sisters in your life. Maybe you have some girlfriends. You know, there's a space between girl and friends because we don't like cheating on our significant others. Now, this video, in case you haven't noticed, is mainly for my ladies out there. This is my first ever girl talk. If you guys would like to see more videos like this, let me know by giving this a thumbs up and commenting down below. Long story short, I asked you guys to ask me some questions that you might be afraid to ask your mom, or you might not really know who to ask. Maybe you're embarrassed. You don't know how to talk about it to your friends. There is nothing to be ashamed of as being a woman. But I get it, like when you're growing up, I was the same way. I was shy about like talking about like my period, for example. But like now I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I make period horror stories on YouTube for like a living. So if you haven't seen those, go on and check those out. Long story short, I asked you guys some questions that you're too afraid to ask anyone else, and I'm gonna answer them. So if you guys do want to see more girl talk videos, let me know. Subscribe for more. Follow me on my Instagram and my Twitter so you can be a part of my videos just like this one. And if you have any questions that I didn't answer in this video that you want answered, go ahead and comment it down, or maybe I can make a part 2. I don't know. Ladies, go grab your tea, your notepads, your pens, your pads, your tampons, whatever else you need, your chocolate, and let's get into this. I'm dividing this up into 3 sections. The first section is boys and love, second is self-love and health, and the third one is periods, my favorite subject ever. How do you know when a guy likes you? I still don't really know the answer to this because I never know what a man is thinking, and for that reason I'm still single. But I can tell you that I have learned when a guy really wants something, or when anyone in general really wants something, nothing is gonna stop them and nothing gets in their way. If he wanted to, he would. Keep that in mind. The way I think about it is, what would I do if I liked someone? And then I put myself in a guy's shoes. I'm like, okay, is he doing that? Because if I liked someone, maybe I'd go to their baseball game. If he likes me, is he going to my like dance recital? You know, it's little stuff like that. Screw it. If you got the guts, just ask him, you like me or not? What do you do when your best friend's boyfriend is cheating and talks about her behind her back? I think there is only one answer, and that is to tell your best friend, because if someone was doing this to you, you'd want to know. And it's gonna hurt your best friend, but at the end of the day, it's gonna hurt your best friend whether she finds out from you or whether she finds out from someone else. And it's honestly probably gonna hurt her more when she finds out that you knew and didn't say anything about it. Think about what you would want someone to do if it was happening to you. So treat others the way you want to be treated. And if you'd want to know, I'd say definitely tell him. I like this guy and he friend zoned me, saying I don't look like a girlfriend type. How do I get him to like me? First of all, you do look like a girlfriend type. We all look like girlfriend types. Anyways, love or crushes or liking someone is something that you can't force. It's something that happens naturally. Also, don't change yourself for anyone. You should never change who you are to get someone to like you, because at that point, you're lying to yourself and you're lying to them. I don't think there's anything you have to do to make him like you. If he doesn't like you, it's his loss. And there's someone out there that will like you for who you are, and you don't have to do anything to convince them that you deserve love. The right one will just know that you already deserve love. Is it weird that I'm almost 20 and I've never had my first kiss or boyfriend or even been on a date? Not at all. There is no set time frame for life. You can't plan life. Life just happens. The right one just hasn't come along. I would rather wait 40 years for the right one to come along than spend years with the wrong ones. Be patient. Can't force it. Can't rush it. It'll come. How do you tell if you like the person or if you just like the idea of being with someone? Try to be a realist. What is really in front of me? Like, try to make yourself as unbiased as possible. I personally like to write a lot of pros and cons lists. I'll literally ask my friends and be like, hey, what am I missing on this list? And my friends will be like, oh, cons, he did this, 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 this. And I'm like, dang, you right, sis. There's this like saying that I've always thought was interesting, which it was like, if 3 days have gone by and you're not thinking of them or you don't miss them, then you don't really care for them or you don't really love them. Whether or not that's true, I don't know, take it with a grain of salt. At the end of the day, the only true answer for this is just knowing yourself. When do you know it is time to end a relationship or stop talking to someone? I think the second you start thinking about it, there's your answer. If it even crosses your mind and you're like, actually, maybe I don't want to do this anymore, I think it's something that should be brought up to the table and something that should be mentioned to them. And you can talk it out. Maybe there's a solution to why you feel like you want to end it. The second you start feeling yourself kind of pulling away, it's probably when you should kind of be like, maybe this is something I really have to face and address. How do you tell a guy that you're not interested in them without hurting their feelings? feelings. At the end of the day, there is no genuine way to let someone down without hurting their feelings. Their feelings are with you and you don't want their feelings, so that's gonna sting no matter what. I always tell people, oh, I'm seeing someone whether I am or I'm not. I've realized that me saying I'm dating someone else kind of gives them false hope, and maybe they'll wait when I'm done dating someone else. They'll ask again. Be honest, just flat out tell them, I'm so sorry, I am not interested, I see you as a friend, and yeah, that's it. What does it feel like to kiss someone, and what age should your first kiss be? I can't explain what kissing someone is like because every kiss is different. Sometimes kisses are really gross, they're really nasty, they're smelly, or they're really amazing, they're sweet, they're soft. It's very hard to explain a kiss. I don't think there's any age that you should have your first kiss at. Again, life does not have a timeline. Don't feel like you need to rush to have your first kiss. Just let it happen naturally and it'll be better. I want to tell a guy I like him without actually telling him. I want to make it obvious without saying the words. The best advice I can offer is that men are oblivious. I have learned that the hard way and the long way. You can flirt with them, you can hug them, you can even kiss them and they still have no idea that you like them. Honestly, sis, you're better off telling a man, listen dude, I like you, what you gonna do about it? If you are not that ballsy, find out his interests, ask him about his interests. If he plays football, maybe go to one of his football games. Hit him up every now and then. Like, not too much, but not too little. But at the end of the day, I feel like guys, you just gotta tell it to them straight. They're like helpless, y'all. And I feel like guys can agree with me. What age should you have sex? Again, life doesn't have a timeline. Whenever you feel that it is right, that's it. It's something that should happen naturally, something you shouldn't have to control. My only advice on having sex is don't let yourself get peer pressured into it. If you do not feel that it is right and you do not feel comfortable and you even have the slightest ounce of you don't want to do it or you don't want to be there, don't do it. You don't owe anyone anything and you don't have to do anything that you do not want to do. Second of all, be safe. Use protection, guys. STIs are a thing. Those are all sexually transmitted diseases. You don't want them. Some of them are curable, some of them are not, so keep that in mind. Also, go ahead and share this video with your best friends, your sisters, your moms, abuelas, any girl in your life that you think this could help them out, because girl power, that's what we're here for. How do you become more confident with yourself? For me, I think what helped me become more confident was I started to look at things on my level, and to explain that, I say this is a little bit morbid, but I live by like one main saying. I don't think any person is better than me. At the end of the day, we're both gonna end up buried 6 feet under. We're all human. Underneath this, whether it's the color of my skin, whether it's what I got downstairs, whether it's the color of my hair, we are made of bone. I kind of just realized, I was like, okay, I should love myself the way I am because there's no one else that is like me. And that's a special thing. Once you realize and notice that there is one of you in the world of like billions of people, that is amazing and it is so beautiful. You're so special. There never has been anyone like you and there never will be anyone like you, and you are the only you there is. Little tips and tricks to help is I love listening to women like Britney Spears, Miley Cyrus, Lady Gaga, my woman. Listening to empowering women and just like feeling that energy, I feel like can absorb into you. Those like girl movies about like coming of age stuff, I love those. It's not something that'll happen overnight, but it's something that can definitely be worked on. Have you ever gone through a depressive phase in your life and what did it teach you? Feelings are valid and feelings are something that you can't hide and something that you have to feel. You just have to go through these phases sometimes. Like, you know, instead of keeping it all pent up, sometimes it's good to just let it all out. I know when I'm really feeling very intense, I like to journal and write out all my feelings. I've acknowledged my feelings. I've accepted my feelings. Here is my truth. You know, it's just a way of life. Everything is not all rainbows and butterflies all the freaking time. And I think just accepting your feelings, acknowledging them does wonders. One of my boobs is a whole cup size bigger than the other, but if I go up a cup size in my bra, then the other one will look really weird. I have talked to so many of my girlfriends about this, and I think it's safe to say that we all have one boob that is bigger and one boob that is smaller. I don't know the solution to this. I just have a bra that is the size of my smaller boob and my bigger boob can just suck it up. If you also have this issue, comment it down and give us a thumbs up. Let us know. I think this is just a normal thing at this point. What are some good suggestions for skincare routines? Few tips that I can tell you is everyone has different skin types. Your environment does have an effect on your skin. Like me in Florida, it's very oily and humid outside. I have very oily skin. Find out what you can and can't do to your skin, like what you should avoid. Like if I have oily skin, I know to avoid products products with like alcohol in it, for example. Do your research on it. Wash your face as much as you can and drink a lot of water. It's gonna take some time to find a product that works for your skin, but I can tell you one thing, the more natural that they are and the more like organic that they are, the better they will probably be for your skin. So it's just a lot of research and a lot of trial and error. Also, stay away from very greasy foods. Like, I'm not saying never eat french fries again, but try and like watch how much you eat because those do affect you, you know. Is there a way to know when your period will come? Yes and no. I feel like for me, I kind of just sense it, or I'll start breaking out, or you can also track your period. There are apps for that. I feel like your body just kind of starts reacting. Another way that I know is when I start craving chocolate, but everybody is different. Literally everybody is different. Is there a difference between a tampon and a pad? Like, how do you know which one to use? This is a tampon. This is an overnight pad. An overnight pad is a pad that is longer than a regular pad and has like little flaps that you can fold on your underwear. This is a regular pad, which is just a little bit smaller than the overnight pad, and this is a panty liner. So panty liners are very thin and they're very small, and these are kind of like when your period is kind of ending and you have that little like brown stuff at the end, like the little like discharge. Yeah, we're getting all icky and gross now, but it's life, ladies. Honestly, there is no right or wrong as to which one you should be using. It's all about which one you feel more comfortable using. Tampons do go inside you, you know, you put that in your downstairs area. For me, it really depends on my mood. The thing that bothers me about pads is I'm sitting in my own blood. If my period is very heavy, sometimes I'll go for a tampon. But then the other thing with tampons is sometimes tampons, there's too much blood. I'm not even gonna lie, at some point I have had to use both because that's how much blood I had. So it's whatever makes you feel better, sis. Of course, if you're gonna go swimming, you might wanna wear like a tampon versus a pad. Whatever your heart desires. How old were you when you had your first period? I think I was 13 when I had my first period. Or maybe 11. You know what? I think it was in 6th grade. My first period and my first zit. Literally the worst thing ever, and it all went downhill since then. Would you rather have your period once every year for a month straight, or how it already is? Definitely how it already is. Sis, let me tell you something. When you get older and you start, you know, having sex and doing that stuff, you will be grateful to know that your period is coming once a month. Because if your period doesn't come that month, you might be pregnant. I would not be able to live with the stress of being like, oh my God, am I pregnant or not? And you know, I don't want to buy a pregnancy test every month to know if I'm pregnant or not. Do periods ever end? Periods end when women get menopause. Menopause typically happens like around like 50s, and that is when you can't really have kids anymore. When your reproductive system is just like, okay, we're done having kids and we're done having periods. Menopause is supposed to be also very like hard for women. I think women go through the crisis and lots of like moods and depressive phases because it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm getting older, like I can't reproduce anymore, my hormones are kind of all over the place. But yeah, they do come to an end. It's just really tough being a girl no matter what, y'all. Suggestions for cramps and mood issues when you're on your period. This may sound very ridiculous, but there's science behind it. I just don't know the science right now. The fetal position. That, like the position where you have like your knees against your stomach, that position helps me like there's no tomorrow when I have cramps. I'm not a big fan of heat pads. Those really help people with cramps. I don't get cramps that often, but when I do, consider me in the fetal position at all times. I just like to nap a lot. I take a lot of like Advil for my headaches. Lots of water. I've been told to stay away from caffeine. Caffeine makes your cramps worse, so remember that. I'm also doing a lot of face mask and peels because I know my face is gonna be breaking out. It just really is all dependent on how your body is once again. Does it hurt to put in a tampon? For me, it's never hurt putting in a tampon, not even the first time I used a tampon, but it could be different again for everyone. There are different sizes for tampons. This is a regular tampon. There's like a super tampon, which is obviously bigger. I think there's even like sports type. There's ones that come out like little flaps. This one for me is just a little tube. There's so many different types. It really just depends. It will hurt when you are not bleeding that much because then you're just kind of dry down there, and that's when it starts to feel really uncomfortable, and it really does hurt. I'll admit that. But when you're bleeding a lot, like you're already kind of wet down there, you know, there's a lot going on down there, it doesn't really hurt. And to be honest, sometimes I forget I even have a tampon in. It's insane. Depends on your body. Once again, there's a lot of depending on your body because everybody is different. How can you tell your teacher you're on your period? This is a great question to end this with because I have a lot of school period horror stories, and it goes back to teachers not letting kids use the restroom. Your teachers know about a menstrual cycle, and if they're not getting it, I would go up to the teacher and speak to them quietly and be like, hey, I'm on my period, I need to use the restroom. If you're not allowed to go up to their desk, I would like raise my hand and be like, hey, I really need to use the restroom. And if they say no, I would say it's an emergency and hope that they get it. And if they don't, I would ask them, can I speak to you in private about this emergency? bleed, and they should start getting the hint. It's nothing you should be ashamed of, you know. It is a part of life. We are women. We do bleed. Accept it. And listen, I'm gonna go to the bathroom or else I'm gonna bleed on your floor. So what's up? I feel like I just gave out such like an overwhelming amount of information, but I really do genuinely hope it helped you out, and I hope this answers some of your questions that you may have. And if you have any more questions that I didn't answer, go ahead and comment them down. Ladies, if you know answers to some of these questions, go ahead and reply to the comments. We're here for each other. We got that girl power. We are here to help each other and help each other flourish and grow and enjoy being a woman. If you guys would like me to do a part 2 to this, let me know, and go ahead and start commenting your questions for part 2 as well. Shout out of the week goes to Sabina on Instagram. Thank you so much. If you guys do want to be shout out of the week, just follow me on my Instagram and stay active. And of course, if you want to see more videos like this, I have a bunch more videos on my channel about being a girl, like period horror stories. This is my first girl talk. Maybe we'll have another girl talk 2. Subscribe for more. All that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!